Yo, what's good, everybody? What's going on, Wiz Nation? It's your boy Brandon Scott from Locked On Wizards. The Wizards get their fifth win in a row. We're going to talk about my takeaways from the game, the injury report, and we're going to chop it up in the end next on Locked On Wizards.
You are Locked On Wizards, your daily Washington Wizards podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
What's good, everybody? It's your boy Brandon Scott again from Locked On Wizards. The real Ed Oliver, it was questionable tonight, but he is considered day to day and should be back for the next episode. Thank you for making Locked On Wizards your first listen every day. We are free and available wherever you get podcasts. Tonight's episode is brought to you by PrizePicks. First time users can receive 100% instant deposit match up to $100 with promo code Locked On. That's PrizePicks.com, promo code Locked On. So let's get right into it. The Washington Wizards get their fifth win in a row. And I got to say, excuse the voice. I was at the Commanders game today against the Cleveland Browns, and my voice is a little low from yelling at Carson Wentz. If you're a Commanders fan, you already know. But let's get back into it. The Washington Wizards win their fifth game in a row, winning a blowout, 118-95 in Milwaukee. Now, again, we will be playing Milwaukee again in 48 hours, but sticking on this game. Let's look at the starting unit. Monte Morris, 7 points. He was, Monte. Kisper, 12 points, but he was 3 from 3 from the field, 2 from 2 from 3, and 4 from 4 from the free throw. So efficiency was name of the game for Kisper. And he was on his driving game tonight. Looking at my notes, there was a key drive. I'm looking through my notes, but and I believe they were talking about on the broadcast. He is considered one of the best drivers in the lane as far as cutting to the basket. And it shows. He was a cutting sharpshooter tonight. Kuzma triple double tonight. His second career triple double, 10 points, 13 rebounds, 11 assists. He did shoot 5 for 16. His shot was not dropping tonight per se, but he contributed in every other way. 13 rebounds, 11 assists. So he definitely was a man on a mission tonight. KP, Kristaps Porzingis, was doing his thing tonight. His shot was dropping, shooting 9 for 16 from the field. He was 0 from 5 from 3, and we're going to get into his tendency to kind to be quick on the trigger with a 3-point shot, but nevertheless, he played well. And rounding out the starters, Gafford, 17 points. His presence in the paint, especially in the first quarter, he started out hot. He did score the first 8 points for the Wizards tonight. So he started out very, very hot. Now, looking at the bench. Now, again, the bench, if you look at this team overall, before we get into the bench stats, this 8-man rotation is working. We said it time and time again, this taller lineup with KP and Gaff and Kuz at the 3, it works. But if you look at the bench, and I know something to change, I think the really only change with Bill coming back would be Kispert going back to the bench. And even then, I like that bench unit. But DeLon, Rui, and Denny and Rui, they play well together. I know there's a little strife between supporters, man, but they play well together. They really complement each other. If you look at 26 points by Rui Hachimura, I don't know, this trade talks must have ruffled some feathers, man, because Brother Man can play some basketball. He has been playing at a high level, and you got to consider him 6th man of the year. And you really got to look at the future with him. I don't know that, obviously there's uncertainty with Kyle Kuzma, and, we've said that time and time again. But Rui, with his high level of scoring right now, and you see energy on the defensive end. Now, we say it all the time. He's not a 3-and-D, and he's not a defensive stopper at all, but he has made strides. 26 points. He was just lighting it up. There was a stretch where he was hitting everything, man. He's been incredible. He's been incredible on this bench unit. Denny, 11 points, but 12 rebounds. Good passing. He made a few mistakes that led to turnovers, but overall, the rebound and 12 rebounds, man. The vision was decent. DeLon, they bumped him up 3 more minutes. I know it's 3 more minutes, but 18 minutes, but 7 points. So he in his defense, lots of defensive plays. And we're gonna get into the team stats and my takeaways in a little bit. But overall, the starting unit plus the bench, this 8-man unit for right now, with Bill being out, is a good unit. This is a good rotation by Wes Unseld. The starting unit, this taller lineup just does it, man. It does it. This is it. This is the lineup. Look at it, 5 wins in a row. We are steadily climbing out of this hole, and it starts with this starting unit. But really, look at the bench. This is a good bench unit. Now, I said earlier that, Bradley Beal coming back, it's safe to, presume that Kisper's going to be knocked out of the starting lineup. But even with a bench with Kispert, Rui, Denny, and DeLon, our three young guys and DeLon, that is a good bench. That is a very good bench. Good defensively, good points wise. I like what I see from this team. Um, Looking at the team stats real quick before we move on, field goal percentage, we shot 53%. Again, we shot at a high level from the field. If you look at this 5-game winning streak, the biggest keys to it are efficiency and scoring. I mean, I say time and time again, man. 3-point, we kind of came back down to earth, 25%. Again, we're not a good 3-point shooting team, so we can win and not be productive from 3-point. Now, I would prefer that we kind of get better at 3-point, but we're still winning games. Free throws, 11 for 16. Rebounds, 54 rebounds. Point in the paint. Lord have mercy. We continue to destroy teams in the paint. 72 points in the paint. So again, look good in the paint. KP and Gafford, like I said, in the first quarter, Gafford was rocking it, man. I mean, he was doing whatever he wanted in the paint. So you saw a lot of energy. Now, biggest takeaways, real quick, that I got from this game: defense. You see a high level of defensive presence with this team overall. 9 steals, 6 blocks. Now I'm looking at the steals. I'm looking at my notes real quick. A couple of steals that came. The one steal I like was Denny's steal at the end of the first quarter. But you saw plays by DeLon Wright. I mean, it was just the defense. Anytime you get 9 steals, 6 blocks, you're playing good defensively. And this team has made a lot of strides defensively with DeLon Wright being back. Some negatives. Now I know it's a win. I get it. It's a dub, but I got to throw some negatives out there. Slow and predictable passing. There's been a few, and there's a couple that I'm going to look at real quick. In the first quarter, Bobby Portis Jr. got a steal from Monte Morris. It was a slow pass. It was predictable. We get a little too predictable with our passing. Again, in the second quarter, Denny had a pass that was and another thing is these cross court passes. I get it every once in a while, but we do it a lot, and we're becoming a lot. We're becoming very predictable in our passing game. Teams are starting to catch on, and they're starting to get turnovers continue to be an issue for the team. But overall, my takeaways: good win. Now I know we're going to slide real quick into injuries before we move on. Injury wise, I know Milwaukee they were without Giannis, Antetokounmpo, that is a Greek freak. Drew Holiday was out. Chris Middleton was out. George Hill was out. I get it. The dream of the crowd as far as their core guys were out. Greek Freak, Drew, and Chris Middleton are the core of this team. So I get it. I get it. But, we say it all the time, man. You're going to deal with injuries. We'll take the win. We'll easily take this win. We had Bradley Beal out and Taj was out. So, but very good win for us. Now, we're going to get a better picture within the next couple of days, whether Giannis will be back, whether Drew will be back, whether Chris Middleton or even George Hill will be back. And it could be a different game for us. But I think that it's still a winnable game. We're playing at a high level right now. We're playing good team basketball. Now, there were glimpses of ISO tonight. Fourth quarter, Kyle Kuzma was guilty for it a little bit. Rui's an ISO 3-level scorer. So it is what it is. And he's successful at it. So I'm not even mad at this point. But good team win, 118.95, 5 wins in a row. So before we move on to, what are we moving on to? Oh, preview. No, we're actually going, me and E will actually do a mailbag questions next episode. And we're going to get into the preview for the Milwaukee Bucks. It's not much of a preview. We just played them, but we're going to go ahead and move on. We're going to chop it up end to end. But before I roll, man, look, this is a really big team win for us tonight. So tonight's episode is brought to you by PrizePicks, and I actually use PrizePicks. I don't have it in front of me, but I used Amari Cooper. I know I'm a Commanders fan, but I think it was over 50 yards, I believe, and he got in one play. He was talking about her. So how does it work? You pick 2 to 6 players, and if they go score more or less than their PrizePicks projection, you can win up to 25 times your money on any entry. That's right, 25 times your money. No competing against other people, just use versus the projections available. PrizePicks offers projections on any sport that you can watch. This includes the NBA, the NFL, Major League Baseball, the NHL, PGA Golf, college football, men's and women's basketball, soccer, WNBA, esports, NASCAR, tennis, MMA, boxing, disc golf, Euro basketball, cricket, and more. Entries can be made in 60 seconds or less. It's that easy, safe, and fast. Withdrawals. Currently operational in over 30 states and Canada. Download the PrizePick app or go to prizepicks.com to sign up and play daily fantasy sports. First-time users can receive 100% instant deposit match up to $100 with promo code locked on. If you deposit $100, PrizePicks will give you $100. If you deposit 50, PrizePicks will give you 50. Don't forget to enter promo code locked on and sign up for an instant deposit match up to $100. So we're gonna go ahead. We're gonna keep it short and simple tonight. I appreciate everybody coming out. Again, good win, man. So we're gonna go ahead and get into comments. Let's check it out. Again, appreciate everybody coming out after the win. Big win tonight, y'all. Really big win. Like I said, I'm gonna keep it short and simple tonight. All right, Ben Tate. Hope Gav is okay. Absolutely. Gav went out, and I believe it was an ankle injury. Now, we will have an update tomorrow, but it doesn't seem like it was too serious. Hopefully, it's not serious, man. That would be a blow to this lineup right now. Looking at Drew. What's going on, man? Rest rotation is doing well. Again, give him his credit he deserves for this team win. 4 more wins, and we are a playoff. We're on a playoff push. Absolutely. Look, I for one are very guilty for being hard on Wes. Very hard on Wes, but give credit where it's due. This rotation, man, this big lineup is working wonders, man. This is what we've been waiting on. This is what we've been looking for, and it's working. We're winning good basketball games, man. Even the bench lineup is a good lineup. I like DeLon, Rui, and Denny together, and with Bradley Bill coming back, I like Kispert on that bench unit. I think that is a really good unit. So I agree 100%. Now playoff push. I don't know yet, man. I like the wins. I like where we're going. We do still have a little bit of a hole to get out of, but I think we're a move away. There's a lot of uncertainty. We don't know where we have Kuz. Just going towards the deadline. It's a lot of questions. But do I think this roster, as it is now, has the capability to make a playoff push? I guess it depends on where your expectations are. If you're looking for any more than a 6 seed, then is a pipe dream. But if you're looking for a 6 seed to an 8 seed to maybe a play-in, absolutely. When this team plays team basketball and plays as a team, absolutely. But if we really want to make a serious jump, we're a move away, in my opinion. All right, let's go. Fabulous results. What's going on? How you doing tonight? Sending my energy to Gaff. We're going to need him on Tuesday. Absolutely, man. Hopefully it is not too serious because, man, he's been playing good basketball. Earlier this year with him not getting so many minutes, there was a lot of questions about what was his future in DC, especially with next year, his extension kicking in. But I think he's earned that extension. If you look at the energy in the paint, if you look at athleticism in the paint, he's a man on a mission. So I completely agree. We're definitely going to need him on Tuesday night because I think at least 2 out of the 3 of the core of the Bucks are going to be back. Whether it's Middleton or Drew Holiday, or I don't think Giannis is serious. So you could see all 3. So we're definitely going to need him. Let's get into some more comments. What's going on, Drew? We need to keep this team together. Has it even into the next season? When health, they look well organized and playing well. Rui, Daniel, Denny, Kuz, KP, DeLon, future's bright. Hey, I do agree. I mean, to a certain degree. I do think we're a move away. I think we're definitely a move away. Now, what size move, I don't know. But the core of this group, when I say core, I would like to see Kuz here long term, especially KP. I do like this solid 3. I do. And I do like the young guys. Rui, Denny, and Kispert, none of them are complete packages. They're not complete players. They're not finished. But you see growth. You see a lot of potential with these 3 guys. Gaff, you see potential with him. So I agree. But I do think point guard, if we're intent on keeping Kuz and KP here with Bradley Bill, and even if we extend Rui, we still need a point guard. The point guard, it has to be the first order of business going in the offseason. The point guard. Monte is best served as a 6-man or coming off the bench. He's just not a starter. We got to stop doing this, trying to turn a combo guard into a starting point guard. Look, Dinwiddie didn't work. Monte ain't working. We got to go out there and find a legit starting point guard who can distribute, drive the paint, and go from there. So I definitely agree to a point, man. Thanks for the comment, man. Biggie Steve, what's up? Big ups to the Twin Towers, opposing their dominance early in the paint. Absolutely, man. The Twin Towers. I was scratching my head trying to find a nickname, man, and I just had some corny ones, man. So I didn't even pop them out. But look, they play well together. KP, that shot was dropping, man. I mean, Gap, this is a nice lineup. This is a really good lineup. So I completely agree. Champ, what's going on, man? How you doing tonight, man? What's up, Wizards family? Peace, love, health, and happiness. Happy New Year. Yeah, Happy New Year, everybody. I guess because my voice all jacked up, but yeah, definitely Happy New Year, 2023. I hope everybody has a blessed year, and definitely have a good Wizards year. We shall see. All right, let's see. A couple more comments, man. Oh, Lord, fabulous results. No, you didn't. Sorry to hear you intending that awful Commanders game, bro. Oh man, let me tell you, it was. I was yelling at Wentz because I was yelling at him after the first interception, man. But it's. I love my team, man, but it was a hard one. It really was, especially after that Amari Cooper touchdown. But anyway, Champ, what's up, man? How you doing, man? How you doing? Hope all is well. Let's get into it, guys. Let's see. Finally, Jags 2020. Finally, Rui is getting 20 to 30 minutes. So, yeah, I think he needs 20 to 30 minutes, or 25 to 30 minutes. Rui is on fire, man. His mid range, his 3-point is, I mean, he's really playing like he wants that bag. He really is. He's playing at a high level, man. But before we get into more questions tonight, tonight's episode is brought to you by Built Bar. Looking for that delicious treat, but don't want all of that fat and calories? Then you got to try Built Bar. We just got through the holidays. I know my goal is to eat a little healthy this year. If you're like me, where you want to eat healthier, but you don't want to compromise taste, then man, I got just the thing for you. You got to try Built Bar. With Built, healthy is actually tasty. Seriously, they're so delicious, you won't think they're good for you. Perfect for your New Year's resolution. What makes Built Bar so good? Well, for starters, they're covered in 100% real chocolate. That's right, real chocolate. And they come in unbelievably flavors like churro, peanut butter brownie, and coconut almond. I'm not sure how Built does it, but these bars taste like a candy bar while maintaining amazing macros. And what's even better is that they're healthy. Only 130 calories and 4 grams of sugar with a whopping 17 grams of protein. And if you lift, man, the 17 grams of protein come in handy, man. And now you don't need to wait around to get a box. For years, we've been talking about ordering you Built Bars at Built.com. Now you can get them at your local Walmart and Sam's Club. That's right, Walmart or Sam's Club. Head to your nearest Walmart today. Walk to the pharmacy section and grab yourself a box of Built Bars. You can pick up a 4-bar box of cookies and cream, double chocolate, or coconut puffs. If you're close to Sam's Club, run in and grab a 13-bar box with our hit flavors, brownie, batter, and churro. You will thank me later. Built Bar. So let's get into some more comments. Fred Fezzo, what's up? Took Wes way too long to play Gab for KP. What poor coaching. Yep. Hit the nail on the head. Boom. Yeah, way too long. This is the lineup I think a lot of us wanted. There's a lot of potential. Because if you look at teams like Cleveland, man, Mobley plays well with Allen. You can't play two bigs with each other. If look at their name. He played at the 4 in DC. It can work. Obviously you need a big who's agile. And I think that KP is an agile big, and I thought he held his own tonight. He really did against Brook Lopez. He held his own. The Bucks, man, they played tough. They played tough basketball. Now they really did. A lot of these guys were reserves, man, but they played tough basketball. They're a tough team. So I like what I saw from Milwaukee, man. They're a tough team. When you see this level of toughness out of reserve guys, that's the recipe for a contending team. So I like what I saw from that standpoint. And that's kind of what I want to see. And you're starting to see from this team. A lot of your bench guys are playing at a high level, man. Rui, he led all scorers. So tells you all you need to know about this team, man. I think we're looking good right now. Let's see. Area 11_2. What's going on? I've been trying to tell people we didn't miss on their draft picks. They just, I guess, misutilized. Yeah, I agree. Looking at this predicament that West got into by taking the head coach position in DC, which is he came to a situation where, it's a mix of veterans and young guys. You're trying to implement a system, and it's tough because you don't always have all the pieces for that system. Now, West has been guilty for his bad rotations and a lot of him being outcoached these last couple of years, but he's starting to utilize people's best strengths, and that's why we're successful in that. That's why we're winning basketball games right now, because he's utilizing the best assets of these young guys. He's letting Kispert drive the lane, and his shot is dropping. He's letting Rui be a scorer. He's not asking them to do other things. He's letting people do what they're best at. And I think that's a big reason why we're winning. So that's a good comment, man. Absolutely. Good comment. Biggie Steve, Rui showed the front office they must be crazy trying to trade him. Absolutely. Man, they must have pissed this dude off, man, because I'm telling you, since that trade or that lack of a trade, he's been lighted up. He's got a chip on his shoulder. He's trying to show people that, look, he's got room for growth, and he's by far not a finished product. But, man, six man of the year. I'm telling you, six man of the year. Just getting some other comments. Galad Zeltzer, what's up? How you doing tonight? Love the game. All played great. Love the bunch D. Finally, they're not getting cooked. Absolutely. Like I say all the time, man, it is beautiful, beautiful music when this team plays as a team. They're playing well at a high level. They're playing well. Now I get it, injuries. You look at this game, the injuries. You look at a lot of games that we've won and there's injuries. But I made this comment last time that not every team's going to be 100%. You're going to every team's dealing with the injuries. You take advantage of it. That's the name of the game. You know, we'll take it. We'll take the win. I'm not going to make excuses. I mean, this is a win. We'll take it because we're trying to get out of this hole, man. And for us to really get out of this hole and really make strides to try to get out of this thing, man, and really become a play-in and hopefully a playoff team, we got to win. So I don't care who's hurt. I'll take it. Hit the like button, Peyton. I appreciate you, man. Definitely appreciate it. The really it all. What's going on, homie? How you doing, man? Good win. 5-game win streak. Absolutely with the Ducks. Man, I mean, 5-game win. It's weird because we just got out of a 10-game losing streak. And now we're looking at these guys and it is a 5-game winning streak. And they look good doing it. It's just a tale of two different teams, man. It really is. This taller lineup, DeLon coming back, Rui with his scoring off the bench was very important to this team. DeLon, his defensive presence and his defensive leadership is done tremendous for this team. So that's a big reason why we are playing the way we are right now. See more comments. Michael Corpus, what's going on? KP and Reed continue their scoring spree. Kuz had a bad shooting night, but still impacted the game with a triple. Absolutely. That's leadership, man. His shot was not dropping, but he still contributed in other ways. And that shows leadership. That shows this is a completely different player than his Lakers years, man. He is mature. He's leader. I mean, it's just complete player. It's just I want to see him stay here long term. I don't know what people are thinking. Brandon, you were talking about rebuilding. Yeah. But if we're intent on surrounding Bill with talent, and if this franchise is really intent on trying to do that, then I'm gonna get on board because I'm a fan, man. I love this team. Now, yeah, I would prefer a rebuild, even if this season doesn't pan out. Yeah, absolutely. But if truly the vision for this franchise going forward is to work it around Bill, then I'm trying to be optimistic. I think that Kuz will go a long way with helping that process of trying to turn into a playoff team. Now, like I said, the uncertainty, they're talking about John Collins coming to DC and sending Kuz to Phoenix. Would Collins necessarily make this a better team? I don't think so. I think Kuz is a better player. Bradley Bill hasn't had no intentions of leaving. So, he's the man. So he's the franchise guy. So let's try to do this. Try. This is the hand that we're dealt with. So let's do it. But appreciate the comment. Let's get into some more comments tonight. I'm gonna try this, man, but if I butcher it, please forgive me. Igor Luchenkov. Oh, close. But I appreciate the comment, man. If KP doesn't go to the All-Star game, then the NBA is so rigged. Absolutely. Now we all know, let's be real, that the All-Star game is a popularity contest, but every once in a while you'll get guys that deserve to go in. And KP needs to be one of those guys. Straight up. KP needs to be in the All-Star game. Look at his stat line. Look at he's healthy. He's playing at a high level. He's keeping this team afloat. With Bradley Beal being out, with Bradley Beal, the franchise player, being out. And we all have our opinions of Bradley Beal. I am a Bradley Beal fan. Now, you say I can't be critical. And a lot of that criticism comes along with being a max player. It has nothing to do with him or skill set. It has a lot to do with the expectations of having a max contract. And that's it. But, there's a popular belief that we're better without him, better with him. I don't want to really get into either way. We definitely need the guy here. He's still a big time scorer in this league, and we're We're better with him. Have we won without him? Yes. Have we won with him? Yes. Have we lost without him? Yes. Have we lost with him? Yeah, I mean, you see where I'm going with this, man. You can say that with many players. It's just, we do need Bradley Beal in this team. We need his scoring. We do, so I appreciate the comment. But now, hey, getting back to KP, absolutely. He's an all-star. He needs to be an all-star. You need to look at Kuz. Now, will a team who's around 500 team who's fighting for a plan, will they be able to get two guys in? We shall see. But I would like to see both of them, man. Fabulous results back at you. Remember to vote in All-Star. Triple votes today. Absolutely. When you guys go ahead and vote him in, man. We'll just try to get KP in there and we'll try to get Kuz in there. I would say Brad, but he's had his injuries. But let's try to get 2 out of 3 guys in there, man, because I think that KP and Kuz have gone a long way of keeping this team afloat with Brad being out. And I think that's worth something, man. I really do. Igor, right back at you, man. Good win, but Barton needs to be traded. I don't see Barton going anywhere, man. Think about it. If you're an opposing GM, why would you want Barton? He's struggling. And for 14 million, I believe I got to double check, but I believe it's $14 million a year. I mean, you're going to trade for a guy who's spotty and inconsistent for $14 million a year in an expired contract? I don't know. Maybe a team needs energy because he definitely provides energy and scoring off the bench, but that would be the only reason I see anybody because I don't see anybody who's going to try to get Barton. He was in garbage time tonight. So let's see. We're going to do a couple more. I appreciate you guys tonight, man. Definitely appreciate it. Trying to get my voice right, man. I know what's going on with me and E, man. My voice from yelling, man, screaming at wins today. But Rich, what's going on? They're playing good without the $250 million man. What happens when Bill comes back? Will Rui and others games suffer? Yeah. Well, I mean, Bill's coming back, and he's going to come in and be the 2 guard. Now, I don't think it's going to mess anything up. I think he's going to be able to slide right in. Like I said, with him coming back, Kispert will go to the bench, and with a 9-man rotation with Morris, Bill, Kuz, KP, and Gaff, I think we're straight. And with the bench unit of DeLon, Rui, Denny, and Kispert, I think we're straight. As long as we keep and stick to the script, which is team basketball, we can win in this league. I mean, we can make it run. Now, like I said, I think we're a move away, but I think we can definitely set ourselves up for a run here. I really do. All right, let's do a couple more. I know I say that all the time, and I keep talking. Dad Bezel, what's up? Who's definitely floor general. Every time he drives in the paint, he makes nothing into something. And so much more. One play left Rui totally open and his box house to get rebounds have been super clutch. Yeah, I agree. Totally agree on that. He at his height, he's able to get to the paint anytime he wants to. And it's just even on the off. Look, he shot 5 for 16 and had a triple double. So I'll take that. So I definitely agree. All right. I'm gonna do one more. And as you guys know, next episode, we should be doing a mailbag. So definitely hit us up with your best questions on here and on Twitter. Let's see. Armand, what's up, man? Ed's still sick. Has he been hanging out with Bill? Nah, man. It's just this time of year is wild, man. The temperature's gone up and down. For all y'all in the DMV, you know what it is or even the East Coast right now. It's just, today it was 65 in Landover, but then last week it was 20 degrees of 10 degrees, man. So it's just, weather like that, people are just sick, and especially with everything going around, just always something going around, man. So just definitely keep E in your prayers to get him feeling better, man. All right, let's see. One more. I know I keep saying that, man. Fred Fezzo, last one tonight, y'all. Gaff showing the same energy he did at the beginning of the year. Come on. Yep, he is. They lit a fire on his butt, man. They really did. He's earning his minutes, man. He really is. So we're gonna go ahead and call it a night, everybody. I want to thank everybody for tuning in tonight. For all you Commanders fans, man, you definitely feel the hurt tonight, man. But definitely appreciate everybody showing up tonight, showing the love, man. Thanks for making Locked On Wizards your first listen today. Now make your second listen game to game Eastern Conference. Every moment, every top performance, every result. Locked On Game to Day covers every game from across the Eastern Conference with local analysis that only Locked On can deliver. Follow Game to Game on Locked On Eastern Conference, available on Odyssey app, YouTube, wherever you get your podcast. So again, follow me and my dude, the real Ed Oliver, on Instagram and Twitter. We chop it on game days, whether it's the Wizards, the Commanders, or for me, the Nationals or the Orioles. Definitely on YouTube, we are close to 3,000 subscribers. So definitely like, subscribe, comment below. So again, everybody, I hope everybody had a good holiday. I hope everybody has a blessed year. And I look forward to chopping up with you guys throughout this whole year covering Wizards basketball. So, everybody have a blessed evening and hail to the Wizards. We get the dub tonight. Hail to the Wizards and peace.